Okay.
Yeah.
Look at this.
All right, we have head coach Roy Williams. We have Marcus Page. We have Bryce Johnson. I suppose I should say that we finally have Theo Pinson up here. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach. Then we will throw it to questions for the student athletes. If you have a question, we have a couple of microphone holders. Just raise your hand. They'll bring you one. Your name and your outlet before you ask your question. So, Coach, if you can get us started.
Me to make the opening announcement, or you want Theo?
My fault.
We invited Theo because we knew he was going to invite himself, so we might as well just make it legit and let him come. But can't be any happier for these guys and the ones in those locker rooms than I am right now. It was a sensational basketball game. It was frustrating for us in the first half. We weren't doing a very good job of winning the tempo battle or guarding them. And I think that was more frustrating than anything else. Bryce kept us in the game with his jump shots, and I wanted to get inside more so we could see if we could get him in foul trouble. But we're still, at half we were up 5. And in the second half we got it going a little bit, and all of a sudden they made a huge run. And it started by just, Kennedy's not even up here. We got the ball and we're going down and it's going to be 3-on-0, and Kennedy doesn't pass it soon enough, and all of a sudden it's a turnover going back the other direction, and they score 10 or 11 or 12 in a row at that point. I didn't call the timeout because I've always coached every day to handle things. Theo used the timeout when he made the great steal to end their run, and I thought that was fine. But I had confidence in my guys, and Marcus took the words right out of my mouth before I could even say it in the timeout. He said, guys, they made runs. It's a game of runs. We're going to make a run. And I was going to tell them the thing I'd already told them before the game at halftime. It's not supposed to be easy to get to the Final Four, and we can handle this. But certainly proud of our guys and everybody up here and all the ones in the locker room.
Questions for the student athletes.
AP broadcast for Marcus and for Bryce. Talk about the ability to respond the way you did. They're showing the maturity, the leadership, and the composure to come back the way you did when they made that run, and then answer back the way you guys did. Just where does that come from?
Want me to do it?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, first of all, I would like to apologize for that technical foul because, that was probably the biggest thing that sparked that run. It's really dumb on my part to put my team in a situation like that, and being a leader on this team, I don't want to be able to do that and have myself not be in the game and hurting them at the same time I get the text. But my teammates did a very good job of just playing. They really stepped up in the time of need when and Marcus, like Coach said, Marcus just came in the huddle and said, hey, they're going to go on a run. We just got to go on a run too. So I really appreciate those guys just stepping up in a time like that.
And Marcus?
Yeah, I agree. That swing was huge. We got up 11, and then they erased the 11-point deficit so fast that we had no choice but to keep playing. I kept telling the guys, it was a long game. We had all the time in the world to just play better. And then Theo gave us a big lift, and Kennedy gave us a huge lift in that stretch. Our defense was a lot better. We did a better job containing the ball and locating shooters and stuff. And then once we got in our rhythm and knocked down some shots, it was game.
Up here in row 3, second seat.
Henry Bushnell, SB Nation. Marcus, in the last minute and a half, was it tough to not crack? I know a couple of times you almost broke into a smile, and then you yelled something over towards the table. First of all, what'd you yell, and was it difficult to not crack?
Yeah, it was tough. We've seen some crazy things happen in this tournament, so you want to stay in the moment and make sure that, what you're seeing is going to happen. But I think with 34 seconds left, I started tearing up, and everyone was getting really excited. I was looking over at the bench, the guys were jumping around. My family's right behind the bench, so it was hard. It was really hard to stay in the moment, but I was just so overwhelmed and excited that I'm glad Coach took me out because I probably would have done something stupid.
We'll come up here to row 1, the third seat in.
Brett Friedlander, Wilmington Star News. Theo,
There you go.
Sorry, Coach.
Make sure everybody gets a picture here. I want this to be seen by everybody.
Theo, were you aware that the other 3 number 1 seeds today or yesterday all lost? And what was the difference? Why were you guys different when you were tested like that? You guys had the answer. You were able to rise to the occasion, and the other ones may not have.
I think it was just our focus. We were watching the game. We was watching the game, the Syracuse game. We saw they were down, but we all agreed as a team to turn the TV off and just focus on our game. We control our own destiny, and that's what we did.
I think we have one on the other, do we have one on the other side of the curtain or no? Okay, row 4 here at the end, Mark.
Mark Narducci, the Philadelphia Inquirer. Theo, could you just talk about the lift that you and Kennedy both gave them in the second half, especially after neither of you took a shot in the first half?
Basically, we just let the game come to us. We didn't want to force anything. Coach he preaches to us to just take the shot the team wants. And I think pretty much all the shots that we took were shots where our team was very comfortable with. And of course, with them going in, it helped a lot.
We'll stay in row 4, just 2-3 seats in.
Lindsay Schnell, Sports Illustrated. Theo, did you invite yourself here tonight, or did Coach say you could come because you were such a spark off the bench?
Just so you have no idea.
I have no idea. Thank you.
Up here at the end of row 1.
Zach DraftKingBattle.com. Bryce, how did you so effectively dominate your matchup with Zach August?
Well, he wasn't really guarding me most of the game. They had Pastore on me at one point, and they had Colston on me at one point. Beecham was on me at one point. So, Zach really didn't play as much as we thought he would because, I think he was in foul trouble. So, I saw a little bit of everybody. So, just tried to just get in the paint and just shoot my shots.
Okay, we'll stay in row 1 here.
Brooke Pryor, North State Journal. Theo, you finally did make it up here. How's it going so far, and do you want to come back for another press conference?
I'll be all right if I don't come. I'll just crash again. But, I just wanted to step up for my team, and I guess you earned your way up here. I didn't really care about being up here. I just try to make everybody loose.
Theo's being Theo, and he does a great job of that. And today he does a great job of that, and helping our basketball team making a nice trip to Houston.
Okay, we'll go into row here in row 2, and then we'll go.
Jeremy Schneider, Star Ledger. Guys, you're the last number 1 seed left. Clearly some really good teams, but you're playing probably your best ball of the year right now. Do you feel like you're the favorite to win it all at this point?
Start with Marcus.
I think we always thought we were going to be the favorite because in our minds, when we're playing our best basketball, we feel like we can't be beat. So that's a mentality I'm sure all 4 teams have going in. And there's some, Oklahoma and Villanova, those are number 1 seed worthy teams. So it's not like we're the only team that had a great season left. And Syracuse put together a terrific run, so they're in too. But at the same time, we feel like when we're playing our best, that we're happy with any matchup we get.
Bryce.
Oh yeah, I definitely feel like we're the favorite. Because why wouldn't you feel like you're the favorite in this tournament? You want to go in there with very confident. And you don't want to go in there scared. So why wouldn't you want to be very confident and say you're the favorite?
And Theo.
I like what y'all try to tell us that we're underdogs. I think it brings a fire to us, and I think it helps out a lot.
Okay, so I think on the other side of the curtain, row 3. I can't see him, but maybe the players can. Yep.
Mark Armstrong, ABC 11. I was hoping Marcus and then Theo and then Roy. One of the big plays in that second half was started by you out battling Zach August for a rebound, and then you got it to Kennedy. Can you just take me through your portion of that play, and then same thing for you, Theo, and then Coach, just give me your impression when you saw that unfold.
I was on the weak side, and Coach is always telling us the guards get back in and help the big guys rebound. So I just jumped as high as I could, and I think August still tipped it first, but I just stayed after it, and me and him kind of tipped it off each other 3 or 4 times, and I was able to come up with it and save it to Kennedy, and then Theo ran the floor, and I guess I'll pass back to him what he did with it after that.
Theo.
I caught the ball, got a little nervous. No, I'm just playing. I caught the ball. I saw Isaiah, and he was pointing up, so I was like, all right, I'm going to give him a chance. And I just threw it up there, and he took care of the rest. You almost threw it too low, didn't you? Oh, yeah, I did. And then I looked at Coach, and he was clapping, so I was like, all right. That was a little marginal.
Coach?
And my part of it, I said, let's get back, get back, get back. That's all I was saying. I was clapping and screaming, get back on defense.
Okay, stay on this side of the curtain, row 1.
Aaron Bree, CAP. For any of the players, I'm wondering if you saw your coach cut the net and hurt his finger, I guess, and wondering what do you think of that? What do you think of his net cutting ability?
Marcus?
Well, he should be used to cutting nets. It's something he's done several times in his career. But, a couple games ago he was bleeding as well, and he came in the huddle and he was like, guys, I'll bleed for you guys if you keep playing the way you're playing. So I guess he wanted to do it again. It might be good luck. So we'll get him patched up and see if he starts to bleed again.
We'll have Bryce as well.
Like I said, we'll take it. He played the last couple games, he keeps biting his lip and his tongue. Now he cut his finger, so I mean, it must be, like Mark said, it must be good luck, so keep bleeding though. Just not too much.
I told him I'll do that, and I'd do it again. But I did bite my tongue, and it was bleeding the whole first half 2 nights ago. It's not very pleasant, but I was screaming at Bryce to get his rear end up off the ground. He slipped and fallen. He took a nap instead of getting up and running back on defense. And so today I was up there cutting the net, and I started to take a step back, and felt like the ladder moved a little bit, and I grabbed, and when I grabbed the end of the scissors, and it started bleeding. I really got very good looking blood. It's very bright, very deep colors.
All right, we'll go to row 3, third seat in.
Nicole at Rack USA Today. This is for Marcus, Bryce, and Coach. Can you describe Theo being Theo in your own words?
Marcus?
I mean, the easiest way to describe it is just, just look. Just watch him be himself. He's just really energetic. He always brings positive energy. He's just kind of the guy that you want to have in your locker room. No matter what the situation is, he makes it fun. He keeps it loose. He's a terrific basketball player as well. That always helps, But yeah, he's just Theo. There's no adjective that can aptly describe it there.
And Bryce?
I mean, you see the way he walked up here at the beginning of the press conference, and I mean, that's just who he is. I mean, he brings a lot of fun to the locker room when we're all like stressed out. I mean, he kind of eases everybody's mind, and he just likes to have fun. But when he steps in those lines, I mean, he's a totally different person, just like the rest of us.
Okay, we'll go to 4th row, third seat in, and then we'll come back for the last couple.
Marcus, Coach has talked the last few days about how coaching this team has been a salvation for him, amidst everything that's going on. For you guys to get into another Final Four, what does that mean to you?
I mean, it means the world to us. I'm sure it means a lot to him as well. The stuff we always talk about off the court is well documented. We don't need to spend a whole lot of time talking about that today, but it's made this a little bit sweeter. It's been a tough 4 years in Chapel Hill. But to come out on top and with this group, how much scrutiny we've gotten, even as a 1 seed, how many people have doubted us to either not make it out of the first weekend, not be tough enough to win the ACC. A lot of people didn't even have us in the Final Four, a lot of the experts and stuff. So to do that with this group, we love Coach, the Coach loves us, and we don't ever want it to stop. So I think it's been a special ride.
All right, we'll do our last 2 up front here, so end of the row.
Zach DraftKingBattle.com. For any of you, are there any early thoughts on your matchup with Syracuse?
Theo?
We just won. I'm going to enjoy this one first.
I tell you, my man is coachable, because I started to say, let us enjoy this daggone game. Okay, let's enjoy this.
All right, we'll go to our final question then.
Bryce, you had 12 rebounds today. I believe Notre Dame had 15 as a team. Check this.
Yes.
The stat sheet. Yeah. Was that a product of just the height advantage that you guys had, or was there something else? Was it just like Coach likes to say, want to?
First, I mean, their best rebounder wasn't in the game. Most of the game was in foul trouble. So I mean, that really hurts them when it comes to rebounding. And then, I mean, it was a size difference for them, and we got a lot of long and lanky, athletic guys on our team that can really go up and get it. I mean, I just tried to go get it every time he was up in the air. So.
Okay, we will dismiss the student athletes at this time. Congratulations, guys.
One thing as they're leaving, Bryce's rebounds ties the school record for single-season rebounds, 399 with Tyler Hansbrough. And this is our 26th regional final. This is the highest shooting percentage in school history in the 26 regional finals. The previous was in 77 against Kentucky.
Okay, we'll take questions for Coach. Once again, just your name and your outlet before you ask your question. We'll start in the aisle, actually standing. No, I'll start with way in the back, standing, and then we'll start moving up.
Michael Luongo, AP broadcast. Coach, it was pointed out back on Thursday, you guys hadn't been to a Final Four since 2009 for the school with a lot of expectations and so forth, and you didn't kind of pay attention too much to that now, but to get back to a Final Four, you've done this like 5 times in your, as a coach for yourself. How special is it for you and for the school to to get back there?
It is really special, and that's the reason I even know how many times we've done it. This is my 8th time in 28 years as a head coach. I've had great players that have taken me. The thing I'm really proud of is I've taken my high school coach with me to 8 Final Fours, and he'll be going again this weekend. But, you know, Marcus, the things he said there were really nice, and I've said some of this to some of you folks out there on the court. I've never wanted anything in my life for someone else as much as I wanted to get this bunch to the Final Four. I'm corny, I'm old-fashioned, I'm anything you want to say, but fortunately for me, I was very lucky that I've had some big-time players. In 2007, I was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. And the worst feeling I've ever had is I started thinking about my '97 team in Kansas, because I felt like I hadn't done anything because I didn't get those guys to the Final Four. And that was something I'll never get over. And this one would have been even tougher. And so what those kids, I wanted it so much for them. But I guess in the back of my head, I didn't want to have those regrets too. But never in my life have I ever wanted anything as much for somebody else as I wanted these guys to go to Houston.
Okay, we'll go to the last row on the end of the row.
Carl Phillips, News Journal. Coach, with the Final Four set, just your thoughts on all 4 teams being impacted and led by juniors and seniors.
Carl, I appreciate you. You know, we're going to do media stuff for 14 hours this week, and we're going to practice 7 minutes. So I'll answer that question. I really do want to enjoy the heck out of this one right now. And Oklahoma, Lon Kruger's one of my best friends. Jay Wright's a guy I admire and what he's done with his club. Jimmy Boeheim's been around since the rocks cooled. So I look at coaches first, you know, but they've done great jobs with their teams. And, you know, Buddy Hield has put on a show all year long. Jay Wright's club has just been sensational. And Jimmy's one of those old guys that doesn't say much, but he's probably laughing himself crazy right now because people ask him why he made the tournament. And he not only made the tournament, but he's going to Houston. So it says a lot about our league, too, because I don't even remember, like, Syracuse was like 9-9. Does anybody know what our Syracuse was in our league? That's a pretty doggone good indication of how good our league was, too. But I'm happy for all those guys. And like I say, we're going to get to practice 7 minutes in Houston and have you guys asking us all these daggone questions for 4 hours.
Before we take our next question, just a quick
You
note.
guys are giggling, too, so you know what the hell I'm talking about.
UNC locker room is scheduled to close at 11:55. It is 43 right now, so we'll keep this moving along, but just letting you know that. A couple up here in the front row. We'll start in seat 2 and then seat 4.
Brooke Pryor, North State Journal. Roy, Kennedy really started out the second half. I think he had all 8 of your points to start off. What kind of halftime adjustments was he making that made him be more effective to start that half?
Well, you know, it was strange because we were having such a difficult time guarding their offense in the first half, and we tried to go small. And I told them at halftime, I don't want to stay small because we have an advantage with size, and the inside game should be an advantage. So I told those guys, I'm going to put you back in the game, but you better get down and play some defense. And I said to Kennedy and Isaiah, we had 4 and Bryce, 3 of our 4 turnovers in the first half were our big guys, and they're just being silly. You know, Kennedy just lost the ball, Bryce just lost the ball, you know, and Isaiah charges a guy. So that was 3 of our 4 turnovers. I said, I want to play you guys, but you got to be effective. And I thought Kennedy really was around the basket and scared me at one time because it looked like Demetrius had really rolled his ankle badly, but he bounced right back up. But Kennedy was big for us during that time period.
We'll stay in the front row and the 4th seat in.
Coach Zach Gelb here, WHIP Radio. You talk about how much you wanted to get this group to the Final Four, but what makes this group so fun for you to coach?
Well, it's, you know, it's not anything that hadn't been talked about for a few years, but my salvation and the time I've enjoyed my life the most has been on the court coaching these kids. And it hadn't always been smooth, and even this year, I don't think Luke's in here, but Luke DeCock asked me yesterday because until 3 weeks ago, this was the least appreciated really good team I've ever coached and the most criticized really good team I've ever coached. And so I got tired of listening to all that stuff, and that made me want some things even more for them. I mean, everybody had a solution, you know, what our problems were. We were pretty doggone good.